Let's go then into the second game, as you're gonna be playing on Suburbs, which is going to be, as you can see, somewhat of a variant of Fortress, apparently. You're just not gonna be having the castle, therefore. And let's therefore turn off the fog of war. And you're gonna be also having in the middle, well, some extra TCs. Oh, actually, there is a castle. All right. Yeah, because I don't think I've seen this map actually before, but you can say it now. It's gonna be also including therefore Regicide or not? Regicide mode, yes. Okay. So yes, gotta be careful about the kings. So not only, I mean, like, you're having 3 TCs. So does that mean you have to be losing all 3 TCs, or is it just like about the main one? Okay, I guess you're gonna be learning soon enough. Is there some kind of info maybe on that in the handbook? Suburbs. Fortress script with changes to 3 TC by bazidrown. But not anything further. So I guess you're gonna be having to therefore learn. Unless it's gonna be like a classic resign by the players, of course. So something different right now to be played here and expected. Obviously this is gonna be a turbo start with 3 TCs. That is also something that would be very interesting to be having something like Lithuanians and stuff. As they really do help with the early bonuses and the extra food that you have at the very start. But nonetheless, it's gonna be there for Byzantine, for Ganji. Obviously in the base, just like classic gold, stone, berries, farms. Nothing entirely too unusual that you wouldn't be knowing from Fortress. And Ranin is gonna be playing with Slavs. Interesting enough. Gonna be having some nice, of course, bonus on all the farming. And he's gonna be apparently engaging in fairly quickly. Because we otherwise don't have like that much of a high amount of food. It's like 2 rhinos and again for 3 TCs. That's gonna be, well, spent very quickly, of course. And now, well, 31 villages already for Ganji. Ranin is gonna be at 28. I guess that maybe before we get somewhere a bit deeper, we could be having a look on the map selections, therefore, for the draft. So therefore, for the maps, Arabia was the first. Right now, we are gonna be therefore having Suburbs as the home map for Ranin. Then we do have Zeval for him, and then Arena and Socotra for Ganji. Looking forward to the Arena on 1 TC. That could be probably resulting into some, monk pushes probably, not sure. Socotra, I guess that's gonna be maybe played somewhat standardly, to be honest. Not entirely certain if there's gonna be that much of a difference there. And for the Civilisations, we are having randomized bands, by the way. This is random at the start. That they can be taken. You can see Celts here, for example, Bohemians, Persians, Berbers, I guess maybe Magyars, Mayans, all kinds of interesting civilizations gone. And then we do have the picks for the players, and they can play, of course, only their picks with the snipe on top of it. Lithuanians therefore gone from the multi-TC start. And you're gonna be, for example, having Armenians here available. So Mongols are gonna be already done and taken, Byzantines as well. On the other side, you're gonna be there for taking Slavs and Chinese. With Incas, Teutons and Spanish and Bengalis actually left. Spanish are a bit interesting. For the arena maybe. For the arena on the other side, you could be going for Portuguese. And well, for the other ones, Socotra. Could be possibly Malay maybe there. On the other side, maybe something with Incas. Not have to say. I guess let's get ourselves and let ourselves be surprised by whatever's gonna come. As, yeah, well, that was just like Scouty getting too close to castle here. Nothing too major. As you're gonna be hiding king here. Yes. So king at the castle for Ganji. He is going to be having the king hidden in... Because you don't have towers, by the way, right? That's also another change. I can imagine that it does a bit. That was Ganji who was actually taking the Lithuanians and was wanting to play them. Yeah. So, having to play something a bit different. The king's still standing ground in the middle of the base. That's of course a bit dangerous. Gathering already plenty of stone. Again, you can't be making any kind of extra TCs. As they right now advancing to feudal age at somewhat of a similar timing. So that's gonna be maybe for like already new castles. Maybe some towers. I'm kinda slightly doubt that. Maybe even some stone walls possibly. Really no idea what they could be having as a plan. So do we have only Scouty healing up. Healing up, and hopefully Ranin is not gonna be forgetting about the Kingos. That could be quite a bit unfortunate if he can like open the door somewhere to a few units and suddenly the game would be over. Always kind of reminds me. Really one of the most memorable games on Fortress that I have had. That was during the AU Olympics 4 years ago, almost, already 3.5 years ago. And that was Fortress 1 Yuan Vodka against... I'm having right now the name of the other player at the tip of my tongue. I just can't get it out. Yeah, I'm not entirely... Was it maybe Lan? Maybe actually Lan. Key antagonist, maybe. Not sure, but nonetheless, yes, the problem was that he was, of course, scouting with the king, and he was scouting actually a lot more actively than he should have, and he ran beyond the enemy base. Problem was that beyond the enemy base there was a cliff that cut his path, and the opponent noticed, so therefore the game was done at 10 minutes because, well, king got trapped. Somewhere where he shouldn't have been. Thinking it would have been some learning experience for Vodka, not to be really going so much far away with the king. Just gonna want to be staying around your base usually, exactly not to be getting caught in such a fashion. And Rani is gonna be coming, aiming for... I think this smells like a castle, you can see 590 stone. Castle is gonna be halfway there. Alright, at this point it's just kinda like unfortunately giving it up too soon, it seems like. So therefore Ganji is gonna be well aware that nonsense is coming. By the way, if you're gonna be switching into blue player, then he's not getting any kind of stone whatsoever. Defensive tower, of course. It's gonna be possible having an opportunity to actually drop the castle about here still. Unlike this TC, it might be still good enough. Oh, well. No, he's gonna be having to actually go quite some kind of distance for that. And further villages coming forward. This is getting a bit chaotic right about now for him. I can see stone reaction by Ganji, getting his own stone for his own castles. But immediate Imperial Age for Ganji, for example. I mean, like, he's the Byzantines, of course. Since you're gonna be already at 74 villages for running, Ganji at only 57. It's a very interesting difference in there. Military-wise 4 and 3, so you can see right now that's not the investment. Running doing pretty damn well. I mean, like, the extra bonus on true farms is gonna be doing quite a lot with the Byzantine, by the way, economically. Nothing in there, and we are going to be having on the other side for the Slav, we are going to be having at least the first 2 upgrades. First one on both wood and the food. Haven't entirely mentioned what kind of teleport he was actually talking about, or if he was being funny. Wait, the enemy can like get going around and getting in with the castle anyway, not sure. Maybe something to look at again, in case maybe you haven't noticed something special. But yeah, that's gonna be there for TC gone. And at this point we're gonna be most probably having to destroy everything. I'm expecting all the 3 TCs. I wouldn't be thinking that it's gonna be only about the 1. But this is gonna be fairly smart as well, because I mean, like, even destroying 1 TC when you're gonna be at 3, that obviously is gonna be immediately meaning economical advantage possibly there. Can see boyars everywhere already. 22 villages more for running, by the way, still. There's a huge difference. Now, what is gonna be right now Ganji trying to do? Like, some kind of... like, fun with trebuchets? Trying to therefore maybe destroy this, because trebuchet is here, and it's gonna be fine there. The one on the left side is quite a bit further away. Well, potentially through the middle. It could also somewhat work still. So I wonder if that's gonna be like the idea here that he has. Because you can see right now running is definitely not looking like a castle age or even too much. He seems to be right now enjoying age number 3. Ah, so yet another castle is gonna be coming. Can see basically just like straight castle rush. Unfortunately wasn't able to block the path in, so like nice attempt, but wasn't in the correct spot. Yeah, the castle, is he still having plenty of stone? Not entirely that much. You can see 80 left, that's gonna be some 50, 600 maybe. Or the 500 and 600. And the further stone is gonna be all the way to the south. And then potentially topwards. And it's still very much reachable as well for him. That won't be a problem. Yeah, well, a few villages right now converted. That is not gonna be a challenge. Though, the trebuchet, that's gonna be a different story. That already is a fairly strong challenge right about now to be had. No, and that means repairing that, of course, is gonna be also preventing the castle from even being made. But again, actually how he's still growing on the villages so insanely. 99 currently for running, Ganji at 65. If you're gonna be counting the Imperial Age, it's still 30 villages difference. So that's a bit actually curious. Currently though, Ganji is really not entirely going for any kind of villages whatsoever, so you're apparently just gonna all in to destroy the TCs. You can say that involving a few monks, but looking at the backup of the scouts, not sure that's gonna be working entirely as great as you would have imagined and wanted. But with a bit of a quick wall in, maybe, though it seems like at this point he is regularly failing, Ganji, not entirely properly seeing the holes in the base and build the buildings, having quite a problem with it. Consistently building basically like over square too far away. I'm entirely certain why. I mean, like, for a player on such a level, it's a bit uncommon, especially since it's so regular, evidently. As the castle is gonna be at this point 2 trebuchets. Yeah, until we get thing destroyed, especially since we are not getting any further stone for running. So this one is gonna be gone. By the way, still the king standing in the field here. But that's something that of course Ganji has absolutely no way of knowing, so you would have to be kind of like guessing, and also being quite a bit lucky that Ganji somehow would be missing that, because it's still next to the TC, so the potential is not entirely that terrible in there. And frankly, hiding him in the TC could be making pretty good sense, especially if he's gonna be finished with the villages somewhere soon, because then, well, who's gonna be kind of caring about the TC? If the TC falls, well, it doesn't matter if the king is gonna be ejected. Both of it, so one TC is gonna be already getting destroyed. Whereas on the other side, it seems like it's gonna be one TC also destroyed here for running in just a moment. Trebuchet making sure of that. And there we go, with right now quite actually some portion of monkeys here for the Byzantine. What kind of upgrades do we even have, for example, for him? He has gotten himself Sanctity on hit points, range from block printing and illumination on top of it. Otherwise, economically, 0 upgrades, by the way. For running on the other side, he's gonna be having at least Bowsaw and still the Horse Scholar. Town Center gone. Currently, he's just gonna be having, not entirely having to break through because this is his wall. So he just gonna needs to be getting rid of the castle, and then it's gonna be path for the next DC. And the last one, that is still quite a bit of a distance, so not entirely that much of a close position there. Still a lot of ground to cover for Mr. Ganji. But definitely interesting clash of completely different approaches here so far between the players. It's gonna letting us know what maybe we can be expecting from the tournament that's gonna be coming up. I think it's coming up somewhere like 11th March or whatnot, in about 3-4 weeks. It should be starting. Not entirely certain if I'm gonna be streaming like too many games or whatnot, but it's something that I was a bit, that piqued my interest, let's say. So we'll have to wait and see what kind of other tournaments they are going to be, what kind of coverage it's going to be having. As I'm not entirely that much of a fan of streaming something that is streamed by 20 other people. Don't entirely kind of think there's any kind of point in that. So we'll see. But nonetheless, as you can see, those games, quite a bit refreshing look at Age of Empires 2. As it seems like at this point you're gonna be finally getting Imperial Age also for running. By the way, 50 villages more, just casually. As he's gonna be invested into infantry, really, men-at-arms. Curious. Handcart besides that, and halberdiers for Ganji. Yeah, well, he's a Byzantine, so of course he's gonna be wanting to have some kind of proper trash. But this town center is gonna be dead guy in just a moment. By the way, it's gonna be the handcart, at least getting finished here. Before it all falls into rubble. And that's gonna be therefore leaving him with only one TC to destroy. So therefore, let's get through the walls. And soon we're gonna be there. And even the extra economy might not entirely right now prevail against this actually very nice idea. Really, this is gonna be all about proper game plans, people having to think about it, something like Blue Carbon Cup that we have streamed for quite a few months. And those maps were so specific that players just like on pretty much every single one of them, they had to be thinking up like new ways how to play, because it really, none of them were anything close to what you can see in other tournaments maps. And it seems like right now the sudden death is gonna be bringing such a maybe feel of novelty again. There's a lot of villages you can right now throw against that. The version I played yesterday felt way more open. But just lucky map gen. They at least changed the stat in resources. Okay, so you can see right now there are some kind of differences and changes still ongoing. I mean, like, well, it's of course kind of like the point, right? The show match is here and testing of things practically. But, well, this time it's gonna be a bit of a shorter one, and the Genjino is gonna be going into the 2-0 lead. And he's gonna be having practically the first match point, but again, we are gonna be playing all 5 games. So, no need to worry that maybe after 3 it will be already finished. Okay, so let's have a look at some statistics on the upgrades. We have seen that's probably not gonna be entirely too deep still, even though he did manage to at least to get the wheelbarrow and the handcart. So while he did have quite plenty of villagers, it just kinda didn't entirely matter too much, and he was not able to be, he's not going to be able to protect his town centers. You can see it now ending at 107 villages against 75, but well, on the army, 11 versus 40. And some military upgrades here for the Slav, not entirely. Actually, it's not bad. You can say it now, the scouts or boyars fairly well prepared. And as for Ganji, castle almost finished. 22 hit points from being done. Nothing on the economy whatsoever. Completely empty economical upgrades. Just plain halberdiers as well in there, a few upgrades onto monks. Nothing really too deep. So yeah, seems like a good plan and good understanding of what these maps could be about. So let's therefore have a look further into the statistics. It's a bit surprisingly different score, but I guess that will be the destroyed castle and town centers playing a role. You can see now buildings raised and thinking quite a bit clearer. 19 actually units converted. Well, it's gonna be a, I guess maybe majority of villages. Still nice. You can see this is gonna be a huge difference. Stone collected for both of them in the end. That one gold, oh, the stone mine in full, and then we do have about, what is it right now, 7, 8, 7, 8, 8, and 4, it's gonna be 12,000, 12,000, 11, 9, 7, 9, 7,900 resources more for running than for Ganji, and well, it was not entirely any good for him, even at only 25 minutes, but of course, 3 TCs, and it's gonna be kickstarting your beginning fairly significantly. And even those researches did not really matter. One relic for a bit of 100, for a few hundred gold, and GG.